mentioned when we were recording drums that I want to go ahead and add a kick sample. So let's go ahead and replace this kick drum. All right, so this process of adding in drum samples is a little bit intensive, but if you follow along with me, it's a relatively easy process once you get used to it. So the first thing I want to do is detect transients. A transient is anytime we have a new piece of information. So for me, on the kick drum, anytime I hit the kick drum, that counts as a transient. As soon as the beater hits the bass drum, that's a transient. And I want it to count all of the transients. Okay, so what we need to do is we're going to right click, go to audio, and in the audio options, we have detect transients. If I select detect transients, now you can see that our kick drum track now has all these blue bars. All right, so as you can see, we have too many transients that are being detected. I don't want all these little hits to be part of the kick drum track. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up this tab here that's called Audio Bend. And you can see right here, there's a button that says Threshold, and it's got a little bit of a slider. If I turn the slider up, if I click and drag, you can notice there's more blue lines on the screen, and if I drag it down, you can see there's less and less blue lines. I want to keep going down until all we have selected are the kick drum hits. So I'm seeing I'm losing a few of those there. Let's take a listen to this little area here. I'm going to solo the kick drum. I'm going to hit play. It looks pretty good to me. Right here we can see, I believe it missed one of the kick drum hits. Let's take a listen. Yeah, so anytime you want to add, if you want to manually add a transient, we're going to hit 7 on the keyboard, and then I'm going to use the Shift key. I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to select right at the beginning of this transient, and if I click, now we have a newly added transient right there. This is going to be very important, as you'll see in just a few minutes. I'm gonna scan through the rest, and pretty well, it looks like we're at a good spot. It's leaving out those snare drum hits and only leaving the kick drum, okay? So let's say we may need to add a few more in the future, but let's say that this has detected all the transients that we need. So just to reiterate, you wanna right click, go to audio, you wanna select detect transients. It will go through and use its little algorithm to detect whatever's going on. You want to open up the audio bend section, and you want to decrease the threshold until just the information of the kick drum is selected. From there, you can go in and fine tune it, hit 7 on your keyboard. That will allow you to add your own transient markers if you need to. All right, from there, I want to add a track. I want you to select Instrument, and I'm going to name this one Kick Sample. After I name it Kick Sample, I want this to be pink. It's just a little bit different. We're going to say New Instrument, Instrument Input Default, New Instrument, and I want you to select Impact. Impact is PreSonus Studio One, kind of like their drum sampler. You've seen it many a times, probably before. We'll hit OK. Now what we need to do, we've got this kick sample track sitting just below our kick drum track. What we can do, since we've got the transients selected, if I click this audio region and I drag it down and I let go, notice now we have all of these transients that have been copied over to a MIDI track. The only problem is we need to tell this sampler what to actually trigger, okay? So I'm gonna open up Kick Sample. I'm gonna hit the little keyboard button. And now what we wanna do is we wanna find a kick drum sample that we'd like to hear every time the kick drum plays. So I've got many different kits. Let's see if I can find one. Okay, I found this one that I like. This is called Tom, I'm gonna try to say it, but you can see it on the screen. Tom Brechtelton drums. I've just got that one selected, and here we have a kick drum sample. I like the sound of this sample. So every time my kick drum hits, I want to hear this kick drum instead, which is located at C1. That's gonna work out in our favor. So if I open up the MIDI region, just double click anywhere it's got these MIDI files. As you can see, all of these MIDI notes are currently located on C3. So I'm going to select them all, just click and drag. I'm going to use my arrow keys to shift these all the way up till we get to C1. Just arrow up. Very good. So now watch what happens. You can see these are not in time. I don't want to quantize this because I haven't quantized my original drums whatsoever. I want them to still sound like they are real. But now what I need to do is I'm going to mute my original kick drum track. So my original kick drum track is completely muted. I'm going to hit play, and what you're going to be hearing is the kick sample with the overhead mic. Okay, I can see right here we had one of the transients that got missed. So I'm gonna double click this area here. I need to add this in. It needs to be close. So let's see. Right about there. There's another one that got missed. Right here at the measure. Okay. Anytime I want to move these off of the grid, I'm just clicking and holding, and then I'm holding the shift key to move it into place so it comes just a bit before the fourth beat. There's another one that got missed. So I'm basically just going to go through this whole song. I'm going to zoom in as close as I can on the timeline. I'm going to put my playhead where it needs to be. And I'm just going to double click down here on C1 until it adds a new hit. Okay, so take a listen to that. Any hits you want to delete, just simply click them and then hit the backspace key. Okay, looks like we're missing one there. Now, some of these I may not have hit the kick drum, but I definitely want it to have a consistency. Move that into place. Okay, I'm questioning if some of these need to be in here. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to try and skip to the end. Just know that I'm basically going through and I'm tediously going through and making sure that all of these kick drum hits are supposed to be kick drum hits, because some of them might have just been the snare drum, which triggered it on its own. So when this is finished, it's totally up to you. But I've got my original kick drum track now muted. So what we get is a much more isolated signal. If I just go back to the beginning of this chorus, if I play it, here is the before. So this is with my original drums. This is with the kick drum and the overhead. And here it is with the kick sample and the overhead. Okay, so now the rest of this, and you'll be able to open up this session as well. Just make sure you have Impact installed. You can go crazy with this, imagine the possibilities. If you want your snare drum to sound different, you can go through and isolate the snare drum as well. But this is why I prioritize when I'm recording drums. That's why I prioritized having a kick drum mic so that I can try to isolate that as much as possible. So I'll go through the rest of this song. You better see this later in the video. As we go through lesson after lesson, you'll be hearing the kick sample rather than the original kick drum.
That creek is my ocean, those woods are my shore. How could I, as rich as I, ever want more? Where I come from, where I come from, just a dirt road near the backwoods with the deer stand in a front porch. Just a boat ride when the water's with the deer stand in a front porch. Just a boat ride when the water's right. Sunrise when it hits the horizon. That sunrise when it hits the horizon. She gives me that sunrise when it hits the horizon. Hits the horizon. She gives me I know that sunrise when it hits the horizon. She gives me that sunrise when it hits the horizon. She gives me I know that I've already won where I come from. Late one night up by the moonlight, we watched big ugly beast came tumbling. Big ugly beast came tumbling. Ugly beast came tumbling as we all ran through the woods. And it wouldn't change one thing. And it wouldn't change one thing about that night, even if I could. Where I come from, where I come from, just a dirt road in the backwoods with a deer stand in a front porch. Just a boat with a deer stand in a front porch. Just a boat ride when the water's right and a fish caught on my hook. That sunrise when it hits the horizon. That sunrise when it hits the horizon. She gives me the hope. I know that I've already won where I come from. Where I come from. That's where I come
All right, so that does it as far as recording with MIDI instruments. There's obviously so many more things that you can do. If you want to add organs, pads, choirs, all that stuff is open and available to you. Hopefully you've got your keyboard set up. We went through the hardware setup process. We added a strings section to our chorus and our instrumental. And then we went in and started the process of kick drum or drum sample replacement. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll check out a next lesson. We got one more section where we want to record some percussion. I'll see you at that video. Now there are many other videos here on my channel other than the Recording Academy, but make sure you check the playlist for Recording Academy for more lessons as they're being uploaded. YouTube is recommending this video just over my shoulder, so give that one a watch and I'll see you at the next video.